Hey YouTubers, Rob here for another Commodore 64 game. Being that this turned out to be number 50, going through my list, I thought I had to pick something special. So in this case, we're looking at the incredibly awesome Stunt Car Racer, which was originally developed by Geoff Crammond and was actually originally developed for the C64. I always thought this was originally developed on the Amiga and ST, but nope, it was actually on the C64. I will link to a really cool article that talks about the making of it that was written for Edge. I'll include that in the notes so you can sort of see. So that always wowed me because I actually originally played it on the Amiga, and the Amiga version was incredible. And to see no, it was actually on the C64 was mind blowing because just the level of graphic detail that this game has is pretty amazing. So we'll dive in. So you can sort of see the UI is pretty standard here. Single player. Now multiplayer I think is just time trials. On the 16 bits you could actually do null modem, and I believe it was cross machine. So you could have an Amiga and an ST linked up for multiplayer. Sadly that's just not the case here. So we'll go into single player. So you can see the division breakdowns. I'll go show one or two of the tracks that you can delete. I'll actually start the racing season. So now the idea is, it's a racing game where instead of being on normal street circuits, you're on elevated courses that are off the ground. So you're driving these specialized cars that are racing on courses that are like roller coaster tracks, and they get pretty crazy in the later divisions. But for the sake of brevity, we'll just keep it to Division 4, and I'll show one or two of the other tracks later on. So start the racing season. So the idea is you're in a league of 4 divisions, and there are 3 drivers in each league. So, and there's also 2 tracks in the division. So now the two computer opponents have already done their races, so now they're against me. So we'll see the first track, the little ramp. You can just sort of see this is pretty gentle by comparison. Use the joystick here to just flip the angles. It's a pretty gentle track, so I'll dive in. So you think 3D C64 pretty terrible. Here it's actually pretty. It's decent. And I think that just is pretty much down to Geoff Crammond's skill as a coder. So while we're doing the drop start, so the basic instrumentation along the top of the screen, the sort of top of the frame around the cockpit, that's your damage meter. As you go into corners, you'll see if you go too fast into corners, it'll crack. You can sort of see. There'll also be points where if you take a really heavy crash, you'll actually get these giant bolt holes appear, and they accelerate damage going over. So we've got our view out the window. Underneath that, the left section contains. Alright, you can see some damage here. You can see the lap number, the boost fuel remaining, then the distance. Now that's negative because I am in the lead. Then you've got the little checkered flag light also indicates I'm in the lead. Then you've got the speedometer. Now the indicator to the bottom right, that's underneath the right side of the speed is the lap. Is that you've got the fastest lap. Now and on the right you've got the fields for the fastest lap for the current lap and the fastest lap of the race. So you see, controls themselves are pretty standard. Up to accelerate, left, right to steer, down to brake, fire to engage the boost. So of course the challenge is sort of off survival. You got to manage your speed to be able to come down, without landing too heavily and doing damage. And this track, the little ramp, is pretty easy on that regard. There are other tracks where close. That's what I like. It's just the ratcheting is how close you can get. That's some of the other, I like seeing the little animated suspension and the wheels spin. Oh, I might have gone too fast there. It's okay. Score, we've won the first race. Okay, so we did alright, 2 minutes to win that race, 50-second lap. I see we're doing okay. So, in this case you get 2 points for the win, 1 point for the lap, hence why I've got 3 points after one race. And we've got the humpback. So again, we can see, I'm going to have view of the circuit. Compared to the little ramp, the big feature is that large hump. Got to be careful of so you don't go flying. So we are getting winched up, of course. I like the fact that it's such a unique style setup just for these tracks that they're not the kind of things you normally see in a racing game. You know, and whilst you could play around with something crazy if you had a game like Stunts, where you had track editing tools. I think that was a game. It was quite a few years after this, so. That's the thing, is like, even though the frame. What I like is that even with the computer, the opponent on screen running its AI, still the frame rate still really hasn't felt like it's changed. It's still putting the same frames out, and I think that's for a racing game that is paramount. There's gonna be a lot of those sort of moments of. Especially because the computer is so close to me at the moment. So already compared to the look. No! Okay, now we've gone off. This is sort of the downside, is when you do fall. Now I've got to wait for the crane to put you back in position. You can see the computer has flown by me. Trust me, right at the top of a hill, so I need right at the bottom of the hill. So I need to build up my speed. Not again! Oh! Yeah, I think I've lost this race now, that's for sure. Oh, this is not going to end pretty. Wonder how close the finish line the computer is. Ah, did alright in the end there. Only by a corner. Still. May have lost that race, but I did get the fastest lap. So right now, question is, can I beat Roadhog? So we're back to the little ramp again. Nice change of scenery by comparison. So, I mean, one of the things is I've sort of talked about how I feel this game is a massive technical achievement. The other thing is, it just controls really well. I mean, there's a great deal of work done on the physics modelling here, so that you do feel like you are in control of these cars. You know, they've got these, you know, high-powered acceleration, and they're on these treacherous courses that are not exactly the kind of thing you'd be driving an ordinary car on. And you do feel you're on the edge of control, which I do feel is a great feeling to have in this kind of game, and I think it's essential. And it just works out so well. I mean, the graphics are pushing what the C64 can do, definitely. I mean, I would love, you know, I'm willing to accept the fact that really this machine is not designed to run games like this, and yet here it is looking absolutely impressive and being more than playable. I mean, I don't know. I would have to work out what the actual frame rate is, because it wouldn't be. But it's more than fast enough, which is quite impressive. I mean, I would love to. I don't know what I'd say. If this actually was running, if there was a version of this running at a true 50 frames a second, it would probably be a little too challenging. Now, the computer AI is not. The computer AI is not, you know, the kind of challenge you'd expect in another game. You know, it does tend to stick to a speed. I think it's like 160 miles. So you can, you know, you get the lead by pretty much getting above that speed and holding it. I would have to laugh if I actually did lap this computer driver. You get the stage where you nail that jump, feels incredibly sublime. So yeah, controls are responsive, graphics are quite impressive for this and the speed. Music, the sound effects are great. You know, they do feel good engine. Feels like good engine noise, and yeah, you get the revving when you're airborne, no traction, suspension noises. Okay. There's no music, but and granted, the front end menus are completely silent, but that's probably for the best. Yeah, as much as I'd like to hear a little sort of victory jingle, I think it's not definitely not part of the game. So there we go. Last race for the season now. Unless something goes horribly wrong, I'll be promoted at the end after this race to Division 3. I mean, in terms of those things, the other really little thing I like is sort of the lap indicator to have how many laps are left rather than what lap you're on. That would be really cool to have, just to know, oh, probably add a little more tension in terms of, oh, mostly damaged, but there's 2 laps left. Oh. Come on, Roadhog. You're not going to hog the road now. Oh! Oh, that was tense. And it's moments like that, just that on your edge moment, whether, you know, you're going to fall off the track or not, that make me love this game so much. Come on, come on. No, that's going to end well. No! Oh! Oh, so close. On the flip side, that's the last corner of the race. We can see the finish line, but just hope we've got enough distance that by the time I get up to. Yeah. Oh, that was close. That was close. And as I said, it's one of the things I really love with this game. Just, it's really good for these moments where it's like, oh, so close. The tension in, in keeping control on these tracks. And I think the track design, the physics modeling, they all come together to provide this really good package. So I didn't beat my last lap record, but I did get the fastest lap for the race. And it means I won Division 4. So now I'm in Division 3. I think what I'll do is And that's the thing. So you can practice these tracks as much as you want. And one of the things I really like is that all 8 tracks across the 4 divisions are available to you. So let's have a look at some of the other ones here, and then maybe we'll show a couple of them, and I think that'll be right. So the stepping stones, of course, is using just for this point where you've got to keep the speed right to go through those small jumps. Because if you're too slow, even if you make the jump, you won't have enough speed to make the next jump, and if you're too fast, you won't make the jumps at all. So that's where that always gets interesting. Well, so then we go on this one. It's one of the things I really love. Like I said, this is a game that, even after 20 odd years, is still incredibly playable, and it still feels incredibly unique. And of course, it's incredibly sad that there was going to be a remade sequel a few years ago that just sadly didn't happen. It was a sad thing to see that not happen, as it would have been great to have. Alright. Close. It's kind of jumps that get dangerous. Now I think we're coming up to a stepping stone zone. Oh, there we go. We know it's about 140. Oh, that's not. Oh, that's not going to end pretty. So you can now see that foolish bit of driving there has cost me quite a bit of damage. But it's also gotten that bolt hole across the top right. And the idea of that, of course, is if the damage crack hits it, the damage crack will like accelerate faster. So yeah, kind of thing that might take a little bit of damage, might take twice as much as a result. And those stack up over time. And the other thing, of course, is when you're actually running the tournament, you know, you're racing for that particular season. Oh, those will actually stay permanent for the entire season. And this hasn't ended well. Oh dear. This hasn't ended well at all. See, it has not ended well at all. Oh, there we are. And you get to see me wreck the car. So, and of course, if this were actually a tournament race, I would have lost the race, but also those 3 bolts will now permanently be attached to the car for the season because of the damage. Yeah, so like, you're racing the season, and then in the off-season, the car could be properly repaired. So there we go. That is Stunt Car Racer. That is probably one of my all-time favourite C64 games. It's a game that's always been with me after all these years of playing. I think I made it to Division 2 back in the day. I'd have to see if I can dig up my save disc. And it's still such a sublime game, and one I really feel you've got to check out, especially on the C64, just to see what the hardware could do. I mean, the game got ported to a lot of machines. I think if you're going to check it out and put some serious time into it, you probably want to play it on one of the 16-bits just for the speed. But it's still such an amazing game, and one I strongly have to recommend. Like, in terms of the technical achievement, in terms of the challenge, compared to a lot of racing games, you might be racing around realistic circuits, but that challenge can only go so far. Here, with these incredibly unique tracks, they feel so unique. There's a uniqueness, there's an extra challenge there, and I really like that for what it means as a player, because you don't know how those tracks, you've got to actually learn an entirely new way of game driving style. So one I think you have to play. I might take a short break from videos after this for a bit, just end of the year kind of thing. So hopefully when I start throwing stuff up in the new year, do keep an eye on the channel. So if you are interested in seeing more of this stuff, when I do get back to putting videos out, do subscribe. There's that already, there's a number 50. There's already another 49 if you haven't seen them all. More of my waffle and playing, in case there's any that you enjoy. And I look forward to bringing you some videos in the near future. Thanks.